Hey guys, this is Nathan from RunDreamAchieve.com. Hope you all are having a great week of training. Today's topic, we're going to be discussing mental training for long distance runners. As you all know from, if you've watched any of my videos, you know how I always stress that mental training is absolutely key for you to succeed at middle to long distance running. And mental training, I will say without question, was the biggest reason that I was eventually able to break 2 hours and 20 minutes for the marathon. Obviously, we all focus, most of the time, we focus on our physical training. We focus on training, at our AT pace, our tempo pace. We focus on hill repetitions, getting on the track, doing those mile repeats, those repeat Ks, repeat 2 miles. But we oftentimes neglect one of the most neglected pieces of the puzzle when it comes to racing over middle to long distance races, and that's mental training. The great Billy Mills said it best. In the 1964 Olympic 10,000 meter champion, he went into that race with around, I think it was around 29:40 for his 10 kilometer PR. And what he said leading into that race was the subconscious mind cannot tell the difference between reality and imagination. So he was routinely over and over and over again, and he said it in one of his videos on YouTube. You can find it out, you can check it out, and I'll link it below this video. He said, I visualized myself doing that over and over again, several times a day, winning the gold medal. And he ended up going to running 28 minutes and 24 seconds and actually winning the gold medal. You know, he was not really a favorite in that race. He beat Ron Clark of Australia and Mohamed Gamoudi of Tunisia in that race, along with a slew of other top athletes. And a big reason for that, and as he says in the video, was because mental rehearsal, taking the time where he was visualizing himself over and over and over again, preparing for that race, knowing that he had what it took to go to that race and win the gold medal. Now, it's easier said than done. You know, it's very easy to say, oh, okay, well, Nate says just to mentally train. No, you can't just mentally rehearse and think that you're going to achieve any particular race goal that you have in mind. You have to be tenacious in your physical training as well. But if all your focus is training, getting on the roads, doing the tempo runs, doing hill repetitions, racing, getting into the races, training really hard on the track, doing those speed sessions, and not focusing so much on mental visualization and mental rehearsal and mental training, you are not going to be as dangerous as you want to be. You want to be better prepared as compared with your competition. And I know from all my years of training, I was always continually visualizing myself. You know, for me personally, one of my biggest goals as a middle to long distance runner, especially long distance runner when I was later in my career, was I wanted to break 2 hours and 22 minutes for the marathon. In 2007, 2 hours and 22 minutes or faster was the USA Track and Field Olympic Trials B standard time. And back then, I was only in the Army for a few years. I enlisted in 2002. And I was at Fort Carson, and I wanted to be a part of an elite unit that we have in the Army called the U.S. Army World Class Athlete Program. And back then, in 2007, the minimum time that you needed to be an official member of that unit was 2 hours and 22 minutes. And when I was there, I came in on a conditional status. So soldier athletes that had potential but had not earned an Olympic trial standard or made an Olympic team or made a world championship team. Soldier athletes that had some form of capability that showed potential were allowed to go there for 1 year. And I was given 1 year and was able to focus 100% on my training. And long story short, ended up running 2:19:35 for the marathon, earned a USA Track and Field Olympic Trials A standard time, which was 2 hours and 20 minutes that year in 2007 at the California International Marathon. So mental training and the importance of mental training as a long distance runner, as well as a middle distance runner, is so critical. And I think that a big reason why I was able to eventually do that, like I said, was because I was training mentally just as much as I was training physically for my events. So regardless what type of time you're going after, whether it's you're trying to run your first 10K, maybe you're trying to lose weight, Maybe you're trying to break a 3-hour marathon, or maybe a 40-minute 10K. Whatever goal that you have in mind, you have to visualize yourself doing it before it occurs. And I think that the mental piece, the mental training component of preparation is oftentimes, like I said, it's oftentimes neglected because we're so focused on what workouts we did, how many miles a week we're running, how many kilometers a week we're running, that we're so zeroed in on the physical training component of our preparation that we let the mental piece, the big piece of the puzzle, get neglected. So the reason why I'm making this video is because I want you guys and gals to continue to rehearse what you're wanting to do. The subconscious mind is very powerful. It will work towards your, it will work in your favor as long as you continue to, do what I teach in other videos too. Yes, you have to train anaerobically. You have to train hard at paces that are much faster than goal race pace. You have to train at paces that are closer to like 15 to 20 seconds slower than your goal race pace, which is like more so at your anaerobic threshold. You want to jog on your easy days, okay? Like I said, some of the best world-class athletes I've trained with, sub 4 minute milers, sub 146 800 meter athletes, sub 102 for the half marathon athletes, sub 210 marathoners. What I learned from those athletes that were obviously had far better times than I had was how important it is to jog and run easy on those easy days, because that's what they were doing. I watched what they did and I duplicated what they did. And I think because of that, coupled with knowing how strong they were mentally and how they, as well as the coaches I've worked with over the years, man, let me tell you, Joe Vigil, Dr. Joe Vigil, one of the world's most world-renowned exercise physiologists, Jack Hazen, and Lisa Rainsberger, those were my 3 coaches as a professional athlete and as a collegian. And they all stress the importance of not taking yourself so seriously. Visualize success, do the hard anaerobic work, but don't overthink things. Focus on the things in the areas of your training that you can control. That is essential. If you want to go from being average or good to great, you have to do what the great athletes are doing. You have to study what they do, study what they think. Surround yourself with positive associations too. It's very easy, the brain is naturally focused and zeroing in on negative subjects as it is. We focus more, we get all hyped up over the negative things about life, but we don't focus so much on the positives and the good things about life as well. And we all get caught up in that. But I think too, surrounding yourself with athletes, like training with athletes that are better than you, obviously is going to help you get to that next level in your training. You want to surround yourself with people that will take you out of your comfort zone, and often. And that was another big reason why I was able to go where I went and run the times I ran, was because too, I did have access to athletes that were far better than me and to push me on those hard days, but I also had to rely on my work ethic and the little bit amount of talent that I did have on the days when I didn't have athletes around me that were better than me. I mean, I trained with Dan Brown, who was a 2-time Olympian. He was a sub 4 minute miler when he was at West Point, ended up running 2 hours, 11 minutes, 35 seconds for the marathon. Ran very close to sub 28 for the 10K on the track. Actually, I think Dan was just under around 27:50 for 10K. Great athlete, far better than I was. Gilbert Ruto of Kenya. He was another Kenyan athlete, marathoner that I trained with, who had broken 2:10 for the marathon. Numerous sub 4 minute milers, other athletes that were better than me. All of these athletes didn't take themselves so seriously. They trained hard, they worked hard, but they also backed off when they had to. And that's really what you need to be thinking about when you're mentally training. It's also study. Like I said, study and read up as much as you can about what the best middle to long distance runners do, how they think, how they train, and duplicate their work habits. It's going to help you prepare properly, but also know that, okay, what are the leaks in my training? What are the things that I've done in the past that have not worked? And I guarantee you a big part of not getting it right in the past for a lot of you, because I made the mistakes too, is just overthinking the process. rushing the process, thinking that you can run this specific time in this specific amount of time, when really you needed an additional year or maybe an additional decade to achieve that. And it really comes down to how badly you want it. Mental training obviously is very important. In terms of your mindset, you have to be willing to pursue and believe in delayed gratification. Great results don't occur overnight in our sport. Doesn't matter if you're a middle distance runner or a long distance runner. Great results come over several years, several months, and you have to have that tenacity not to let up just because, don't let up when you have setbacks along the way. Don't let up if you have several bad races or you have several workouts that are poor. Also study, a lot of the best athletes too. Best coaches also teach. If you're running low on some kind of nutrient or a vitamin, maybe you're running low on potassium, running low on iron, those two particular nutrients, if you run low on those two, you will perform poor, even if you have a very high motivation level and you're willing to put in the work, but you're not going to be able to train, and I mean, you're not going to be able to train as well as race as efficiently because your cells aren't working at optimum levels. You need to be able to have, if you're running low on oxygen or on iron, it's going to be very difficult. Your cells aren't going to be able to transport oxygen throughout the body, through your bloodstream as efficiently as if you had optimum levels of iron and ferritin in your bloodstream, and in your body. So these are things you also need to pay attention to outside of the mental training piece of your preparation. So I hope this video was helpful for you all. If there's anything I'm missing in any of my videos, definitely leave me comments, because I'll either make another video or answer your question. This is a very middle to long distance running. There's so many topics, so many things to talk about to assist you, and that's really the end goal. I want you all using leverage to be able to get better results by working less rather than working harder. Because I know I've known plenty of athletes over the years that knew how to work hard, but they still didn't always get the result they were searching for. And because you have to learn to use leverage. We're all taught to work hard and thinking, hard work is the answer. Yes, you do need to work hard, but you also have to have that ninja quality, working leverage and having the mindset that, okay, I don't necessarily have to work harder to get better results. I have to work smarter. I have to change out the leaks. Where are the leaks in my training? What have I done in the past that has not gotten me what I want? And what do I need to do in order to change that? And a big part of preparation is mental training. Do not neglect it. Spend 10 to 15 minutes each day over several weeks, several months leading into your race, and see yourself doing what you want to do. It has to occur in the mind first before it ever becomes a reality in real life. And that's what I did too. I trained several times, mentally rehearsed, seeing myself getting across the finish line with 2 hours, 21 minutes, and 59 seconds off the clock. And I can't tell you all enough how excited I was when I came around the corner and I took that left-hand turn into the capital of the Sacramento capital, downtown Sacramento, at the California International Marathon, and saw 2:19:12 on the clock, 2:19:13, 2:19:14 when I was coming in, and ending up running 2:19:35 at the end. It was all of that, all the mental preparation, all the physical preparation, all of the setbacks and the doubts, all of that quickly just left because I saw that and I knew I was going to achieve that particular goal. I knew that I could do that. And that's what I want for you all. I want you all to experience that. And I don't want you to give up, because I believe in what you guys are doing. I know what you guys and gals can do. You just have to be persistent, tenacious enough for a long enough period of time to get it. And it may take a year, it may take you over a decade to get it. But it all comes down to how badly you want it. And the big piece of that is going to be your mental mindset, your drive, your motivation, and your discipline to get what you want. So I hope this video has been helpful for you all. Continue success, stay motivated, stay driven. And I'll talk to you all in the next video.